Hey there, true believers. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about SH Figuarts' new Spider-Man No Way Home Tom Holland Spider-Man figures. And I am very, very excited about these figures. They actually led me to do something with my current SH Figuarts Spider-Man that I wasn't going to do originally. Now, if you guys follow my Instagram, then you know that my Far From Home Spidey had a... I put in the post he's out of commission. I basically just had him standing up and down for the longest time. If you've seen some of my other videos in the size comparisons, you can see that he had just been having the Mafex's Tom Holland Spider-Man, and he was just standing straight up and down, right? So I seen SH Figuarts' new Spider-Man figures, and I seen that they're doing a new upgraded suit, of course, with the pointed belt, and they've got some other things going on in there that I'm very excited about. But they went ahead and did that, right? So I'm like, okay, well, there's no way I'm gonna buy another Far From Home Spider-Man and then get the new upgraded suit Spider-Man. There's no way I can do that, because I already have two of the Mafex, I have the Marvel Legends, I have the Hot Toys, and this isn't even my favorite suit. There's no way I want to have that many of the same suit with just the minute difference of the pointed belt in the collection. It's a great suit, it's just not my favorite. It's not even my favorite Tom Holland suit. I just prefer red and blue. I prefer the Stark Tech suit, and I just prefer that more. But the images that SH Figuarts, I don't know if they're leaked or not. I don't think they were, because one of the ones that I seen kind of looked like it was a part of a magazine, and somebody had just gotten the images from there. Some type of catalog or something like that. So I believe these images are officially released by Bandai, but I want to talk about the upgraded suit first, because I'm very, very excited about this one. Because if you've seen any of my previous videos that I talked about this, I said that this is probably my favorite Spider-Man in the collection, and I wasn't able to do anything with him. As far as paintwork goes, his paintwork is on point. You know, he's not completely accurate, but the paint that he does have is really, really good. The articulation that he has is really good, and the accessories that he comes with are relatively, you know, it's a good Spider-Man figure. It doesn't come with too much. That's some of the things that sucks about, like, the Homecoming Spider-Man. There's so many accessories that I don't get to use all the time. Now, I'm not somebody who says, well, you should get less accessories. I like the more accessories, but with what he comes with, I don't feel overwhelmed or like I'm not using anything more than I should. That's why I keep that Peter Parker head on here. That way this Mafex Peter Parker head is actually getting used. So that's why I keep it on here. But when I seen these images emerge on Instagram, and it wasn't too long ago, I was like, there's no way, like I said, there's no way I'm gonna get another one of this guy and then get the upgraded suit with the pointed belt, right? So that was my thought process. So I went ahead and I broke the figure on purpose. Now, when I say I broke the figure on purpose, basically what it did is because what was happening is this ball and this shoulder was stuck, right? So every time I turned it, instead of the ball turning, it was the plastic, kind of like if you imagine like a Tootsie Roll package. You can see how like you twist the ends. That's kind of what was happening to the plastic, right? So I just took needle nose, I ripped the arm off, I separated the shoulder from the joint like this, and then I pulled the arm off, and then used needle nose pliers to pull the joint out, and then I drilled into the hole to get the ball out, and then I went ahead and I drilled a deep hole in both sides here. That way they're both even. The white stuff in there is actually tack, just because I wanted to see how the arm would sit in there properly. It was more of me just testing how it would look, and I liked it, and it got stuck in there. So I went ahead and I drilled in there pretty deep on both sides, right? See, now the way the figure was designed before with the ball is you had the joint, and then it had a ball on the end, so it was friction forced, right? So basically the ball would push through the canal, and then it would sit inside the opening, right? So when you pull it out, you would require force. Now when you drill a hole straight through, now that tube becomes all the same diameter. There's no longer a opening in the inside of the joint, right? So basically the way I have to do this is I'm going to have to, with the joints that I've chosen to replace this, I'm going to have to fill it with a little bit of clay and then mold it properly, spin it around, of course, so it gets a good shape in there. Pull it out, let it dry, and then it should be enough friction to hold the arms together. Now what I did for the actual joint here is these are bootleg Revoltech Spider-Man elbow joints, because they were the same size. It's the only part of the figure that was the same size as the shoulders apart from the ankles, but the seller that I had got it from on Instagram, he had glued the ankles together, so I could only use the elbows, right? So I snipped the blue end down just a little bit, covered it in super glue, wrapped it around so it's stuck in here well enough. I didn't actually do it to this arm. It's in there well enough. I did it to the other arm, and then I put it into this one just to see how it works. So the actual biceps need to be a little bit tighter still. This one's pretty good, but just this long rod goes in there like this, right? So it's no longer going to have the butterfly joint or the ball in there, so it's going to lose out on some articulation, but I'm not really worried about that much. It should still be okay. And then, like I said, the glue or the clay, when I put it in there, it's going to keep that, and it should work just as well. And of course, it won't break on me again. So I'll be doing a video on that once it's completed. But once I seen these pictures, like I said, I went ahead and did this. That way I had an excuse, or I didn't have to go back and get this guy twice. So I had an excuse to get all 3 of the new figures, and it's like I'm not having any extras of anything else. But I want to go ahead and talk about the upgraded suit Spider-Man first, right? So let's go ahead and talk about that. The upgraded suit Spider-Man is very, very sharp. I'm really liking how it looks. Unfortunately, a lot of people dog on this original figure because it's not that accurate. It doesn't have the white on the spider. It doesn't have... it has these extra red lines on the back of the legs, and the paint is blue instead of black. Now, you have people like Shartimus Prime who argued for the longest time that it was blue. It never, from what I can remember, it never actually looked blue to me. But the actual figure itself, I really did like the paint job, even though it wasn't accurate, right? I'd gotten this already knowing that I was going to get the Mafex. This was after the Mafex has already been revealed. So I bought this with no intentions of it being my main Far From Home Spider-Man, and it became one of my favorite Spider-Mans. Now what they did here with this new one is it looks like they haven't updated the sculpt at all, which is completely fine because they gave us 2 brand new sculpts with the new suits for No Way Home, right? But what they've gone ahead and done here is that they've updated the red. The red is much more vibrant. The blue is no longer blue, it's definitely a black. And the actual bands have a glossy paint on it this time around. It's not all one color like this one. So like the band that goes across the shoulder or the base of the boots or just around the trimming is all going to be a glossy black now, which looks very sharp. And also, the paint is the webbing is no longer black. It looks like it's either not painted or maybe like a dark red. I've seen some images where it looks more like a dark red to me, but I can't really tell right here. The only thing that they're missing out is, and also the lenses are no longer silver like the previous one. They're white now. So that's another cool thing. Even though I like the silver, it doesn't bother me. It still doesn't have the white on the legs, and especially if it's this upgraded suit, the white on the front of the spider is more prominent than it was in the Far From Home suit. So that's another thing, but I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on this. And from what I can tell, it doesn't appear to be a new sculpt anywhere. Maybe it definitely is for the belt piece, obviously. But everything else appears to be the same. Now, I really like this Far From Home mold. I like the wider shoulders, I like the traps, and I like the thighs. Unfortunately, what they've gone ahead and done here with the new sculpts is it looks to be... Whoop. That's a custom. I went the wrong direction. It looks to me that they've gone... Here's some action shots of the figure. and they painted the bottoms of his feet a little bit differently. Suit looks really good. But this black and gold suit, now if you watched my Marvel Legends video, then you know I was not too excited about the black and gold suit by Marvel Legends, because they went ahead and they took the upgraded suit and then they repainted it. It looks atrocious in my opinion. This one looks fantastic. And you can tell that the red areas that are supposed to be the upgraded suit, because the whole suit is supposedly the upgraded suit just inside out. You can see that the red areas on this suit, if you look back and forth, you can tell that they're actually new forearms and new hands, because the forearm has, like, if you look here, on this one you can get more of like a, there's not such a smooth transition between the wrist and the forearm, but if you go ahead and look at this figure, there's more of a smooth transition between the wrist and the forearm. It's more of a gradual one. It looks almost like his forearms are a little bit longer, but I think that's just because it's a little bit thinner, so it's giving that illusion. But the sculpt of the entire figure looks incredible. The small little intricate details of like the circuits, everything, the webbing looks so good. And I just noticed this. The webbing on this is double. No, it's not. This is just, that's not double. It's just, my bad. It's just that same detail right there. I got a glimpse of that and I thought it was double webbing, but it's not. So I take that back. But the entire suit looks so good. The gold paint looks good. That the Doctor Strange piece that he's got on his arm there looks really good. And the accessories, this figure looks sharp. He really does. Very excited about this one in the integrated suit. Now I still might get the Marvel Legends one, but this integrated suit by SH Figuarts looks incredible. All of this nice detail here. Now, like I said in one of my previous videos, we don't actually know if the integrated suit has legs. I think a lot of people have just assumed that, but none of the promotional artwork that we've seen and none of the merchandise, especially not in the trailer, because the suit itself isn't in the trailer, we haven't seen this suit with any legs. And if you take a look here at this SH Figuarts figure, there doesn't appear to be some kind of back panel that can be removed in order to put legs on there, right? Now, if I go back here and I go back to the black and gold suit, if you take a look here at the front of Spider-Man's chest, you can see where there's a cutout where you lift the spider logo out. You take a piece out of there, just like how they did this right here. And then you're gonna put a new spider piece on there that has the Doctor Strange effect on his chest, and you can see what that looks like here in this X image up the top, right? So we don't see no actual separate piece here, unless they've gotten it hidden really, really well around the legs. It doesn't appear to be any kind of piece that comes off in order to put spider legs on it. So it's leading me to believe that this suit doesn't actually have spider webs or spider legs, and I'm thinking that this is the very last suit of the movie, and it's looking really good. The texturing all over the figure. So this figure had no texturing on the red. That was one of people's problems with it. But both of these suits have texturing throughout. And again, the webbing on this one doesn't appear to be painted. It could be painted, but I just can't tell with these images. They're a little bit blurry. Now, if you're not going to paint any Spider-Man suit, if it's Tom Holland Spider-Man, then I don't really care. The Marvel Legends one, it bothers me because the figure is so toy-like. It's so shiny and glossy. It at least needs a matte coat. Like for my own custom unused Civil War suit Spider-Man, I've been contemplating painting the webs on there, even though out of all of Tom Holland's suits, that one should have the darkest, thickest webs, because that's just how the suit looks on set. But I've contemplated doing it because I think it just really looks good the way it is. But with any of the other Spider-Man suits, if there's no black webbing, it's not a big deal, because even the webbing in the movies isn't black itself. So if you don't paint the webbing, I think you can get away with it with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I don't think Marvel Legends can, because they don't know how to make all of the colors. There's nothing to balance out the colors, because all the different types of plastic are different paints, and the webs draw it all in and makes it hard to tell the difference in colors. So when you have that Far From Home Spider-Man and it's all a different bunch of different colors and the different finishes, it's really easy to tell. But with a company like Mayfax or SH Figuarts, they can get away with it, and I think it looks fine, like it does right here. but this one's got even longer forearms. So this guy's got some long ass forearms, but the black and gold suit and this one has the black swept swivels now, which a lot of people have been asking for. He's got these new web shooter designs, so it's almost like a more accurate. It's like a more accurate spider armor or iron spider suit, but at the same time, I'm willing to bet that this suit does not have legs. And if it does, then they're just doing a really good job to hide it. Because like I said, it doesn't look like there's anything here to lift off to get another panel on his back. So I'm interested to see how that works out. But this figure looks really, really good. I'm sorry for the nasally in my voice. I don't know what's going on. But these figures look really, really good. I'm really excited about them. I'm excited to get all 3 of them, and fortunately, I'm going to be able to fix this guy. That way I don't have to get another one of him and break the bank. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, especially since, before we end this, especially since we know that we're going to get a new Toby and Andrew, I'm interested to see who does a better job, SH Figuarts or Mayfax, or even what Hasbro brings to the table, because sometimes Hasbro knocks it out of the park. Like the integrated suit that they did, I think that figure looks really, really good. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And of course, until next time, whoa, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, until next time, true believers.